All right, let's talk Chicago. My name's Greg. You're watching How to Play Paintball. Okay, so sorry, first of all, that this is a little bit late. I know usually I have stuff out on Mondays with getting back home and then going to work and then spending time with the family, all of that. So hopefully you guys understand why this is a day later than usual. But I'll make it up to you. There is going to be a giveaway in this, so make sure you watch through to the end so that way you know how to enter. So first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone that said hi. It was great being able to meet you all. So hopefully World Cup I'll be able to meet some more of you as well. So just like usual, I want to go through the good and the bad. What are the things that were great about it? What were things that weren't as great? And so let's start off positive. So one thing, weather was fantastic. It rained at night, one night, and that was it. Other than that, it was like clear skies, just good weather, not a high humidity. It was hot, but for someone like me in Florida, there wasn't really any humidity, so it was comfortable to me. So that was fantastic. The actual venue itself, great grass coming from Philly. That was a good thing to see. The grass wasn't too slippery. It wasn't too tough. It was a very good, I'm not really sure, I'm not in agriculture or anything, so I'm not sure what kind of grass it was, but it was very good to a good playing surface, and it seemed to survive the event, which is a very good thing. You don't want it to be that there's like big sand pits by the end of the event where people have been diving. So it seemed like it was pretty good throughout the whole event. The layout itself, I thought it was a great layout. So Jason Trozen has been doing a very good job of coming out with layouts that are different, that aren't going to be just those layouts where you go and you dump 17 pods into a gap and 4 of the guys are doing that on the field and you send one guy out wide and just hope that they make it, and then you're just waiting the other person out. So even, what was it, Energy and NYX had a game that was 19 points. Now that's nuts. That's great for spectators. It's great to see who's going to survive at the end, in the sense of who's going to be physically fit for that. So it's great to have those kinds of matches where they're going back and forth, and you have these high scoring matches. Great stuff. The timing I thought was good. Can't complain about anything. I mean, I'm back teaching in school, so still had to take some time off work, but it wasn't like it was coming up next to any testing periods or anything like that, so still can help my students be ready for stuff that's going to be coming up later, so that was great. The actual venue itself, the distance from the airports, it was about 30 minutes, so that's not bad. It's not like you had to drive like 3 hours from the airport. And what's great with Chicago is you have O'Hare, and then you also have Midway. So I flew into Midway because I was on Southwest, and they're both pretty much the same distance from the event, so that was nice. There was a good amount of food around there. We didn't have to go super far for decent meals, all of that stuff. So that was great. But let's get into some of the stuff that wasn't so great. And the big glaring thing was the reffing. And I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, well, the refs are the reason why. Like, literally, the refs are the reason why we didn't move on. If you go and watch our matches, we only lost to the Ironman by 1 point. We had 2 penalties that happened in there. So winning those would have, and there are justified penalties. I'm not saying that we didn't get any that weren't justified, but that wasn't good to see. Then we lost by 4 points to the Russians. We had 4 penalties. There was one where one of my players was going to hit the buzzer. One of the Russian players looks, sees him, starts to shoot at him. My player picks his gun up, starts to shoot back. The ref says, player, you're out, because he had stepped out of bounds. So my teammate drops his gun, stops shooting, still gets a penalty. I don't agree with that. He stopped if you're stepping out of bounds, not even, I don't know, like I realize in the rule book, he's out of bounds, he's shooting his marker. I get that, but the fact that he stopped shooting when the ref called him out is not okay. Another point against Dynasty, my player ran down one of the Dynasty players, I won't say who it was, shot him in the back, and the Dynasty player said, hey, he shot first. I don't know how you know that player shot first when you're looking the opposite direction. So I think part of the issue was the refs are intimidated by some of these higher ranked teams, Dynasty, Impact, all of that. And when you have to fight the field and the other team and the refs, that doesn't help. So that kind of stuff does need to change for World Cup. I mean, that's not a good thing. Now, Level went out and did great. Congrats to them. You know, that's a fantastic thing that they were able to get. I think they got 6th. So for them to move that deep into Sunday is great for that organization. They were bottom of the barrel is really what it comes down to. No offense to you guys if you're watching, but that's where you're at. And then they went 4-0 in the prelims and moved on into Sunday. So for them to do that and beat Impact in overtime is fantastic. But the fact that we had other times where penalties weren't thrown, even though we had a player play on. There was another point, I won't say what team, we shot the player in the pack. He dove into the snake, plays the whole point, and then they throw a minor at the end, even though he had the hit the whole point. I can understand a minor if he had just dove in, pulls up, starts shooting, and then they see it right when he dove in, throw the penalty. That's fine. But if you play the whole point, you're changing the game a lot, and that kind of stuff isn't okay. So, I don't want to be that whiny guy like, oh, the refs are the reason why we didn't move on. But it is something that it's hard to go to an event and see that. Like, we put in work before this event. We were playing very well, and to see that all just kind of wash away is not good. The other thing that I didn't like was, and they did this to other teams too, it wasn't just us, and I realize that scheduling is not easy, but we had on Friday a match at 12 and then a match at 4:45, I think is what it was, or 4. Regardless, we had to wait about 4 hours before we played our next match, whereas on Saturday we played at 2 and then we played, or 2:45 and then 4:45. So you only had one match in between. I prefer that. That's something that is good to have those matches pretty much back to back. You're not just walking around, you're not getting cold, you're not going to have your muscles get tight, you're not going to get dehydrated. You're going to be able to stay up on things and be ready for that next match. And something like that is a big deal. You know, it's also just, it's not fun to just sit around, you know, like, I mean, it was cool, like, I still got to go and watch games, but, like, we're focused on playing, and that's not something that, yeah, it's not okay. So, if anyone from the NXL is watching, I don't know if Tom is or other people, but, yeah, I mean, having the schedule be where it's a little bit closer, is, definitely ideal. Now, we did have later matches this event, which was fantastic because being able to sleep in a little bit was nice, but I would have preferred them to be closer like we had on Saturday. As for the actual playing, and I think the timing could have been a little bit better. There were some points that, and they did fix it, so I want to give credit where credit is due, but we finished our match and it was already getting kind of dark, and then when Level went and played Impact and we were just watching, you know, just hanging out, and it got dark. Like, there weren't lights on the field or anything, so, I mean, that's just going to be something, one, that players can get hurt, and two, you're going to have guys that are just going to start cheating because the ref can't see anything. So they did fix that on Saturday, where that next match, they said, okay, we're going to finish this on Sunday at 7:30. So they that group finished out their prelims on Sunday morning. So it is what it is. Overall, I think it was a successful event. This location has been... Oh, sorry. There was one other thing that I really wish that they wouldn't do, because everything else about the venue is great. Like I said, the grass, location's pretty good, all of that. But there is a radar tower near there for... I don't know if there's like a local airport around there. And that radar tower, as it spins, messes with the chrono on the field and in the pits. So I'm sitting there trying to chrono, get ready, and it says like 290 and then 112. There's no way that my marker is dropping from 290 to 112 or like spiking to like, you know, a bunch or whatever. So that's... I know as being kind of nitpicky, but the issue is that I walk on the field. What if I am shooting hot or someone else is shooting hot and not just like 302? That's not a big deal. But if they're shooting like 320, 340, and they shoot over the chrono on the field and it shows up as 250, that's going to be dangerous for other players, and that's not something that's okay. So the fact that we still had to play in those conditions, and this has been a normal thing, is not okay. That's definitely a safety issue. Yeah, I mean, ultimately the field layout, it was definitely an interesting one. It was one that you could play hyper aggressive. There were some kind of defensive areas that you could have, but it was just a good layout. So let's just get into the giveaway then. So this is from Dark Carnival. So Dark Carnival was nice enough to donate 2 headbands. There's an orange and then like a green and purple. So thank you so much to them. You can go and check them out at darkcarnivalfactory.com, so you can see that there. They also do have an Instagram, so I'll put that information around here, so that way you guys can go and thank them. But the way that you're going to enter is, first, make sure that you like and subscribe. You guys already know that's part of it. Then down below in the comments, I want you to put down what you thought of the event, whether it be from what you were watching on Go Sports or the couple matches that they put up on Facebook and on YouTube, or if you were actually there at the event. What was it that you guys thought? And then what you'll do after that is I need you to email me. Again, I'll put my email around here. It's howtoplaypaintball05@gmail.com. And what you'll do is just email me with your screen names. I don't want to have a bunch of addresses sent out to me and all that, just because I don't need to know your address unless you win. So that way I can send it out to you. If you are international, you will have to pay for shipping, just as a heads up. Thank you for still watching, but it's just not cheap to send stuff overseas. So domestic, I'm going to cover shipping. Don't worry about that. But yeah, so once you have liked, subscribed, put that comment down below and emailed me, you're going to be entered to win. And around here somewhere, I'll put when these winners are going to be messaged. So it'll be that evening, probably around like 8 o'clock Eastern time. So be sure to follow all those directions, and maybe I'll even throw in some other stuff. I have some stuff over here that you can't see off camera, so I might throw some extra stuff in there for you as well. So thank you again to everyone. Sorry for those that are fans of the Kings. We're definitely going to come back better at World Cup. Don't worry about that. All of us are like, no, this is not okay, that we're not going to go out like a bunch of punks. So we're going to go out swinging, make sure that we're ready for World Cup. Thank you again to those that said hello, and good luck to those entering the contest, and I will see you in the next video. But as always, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.